And we're live. Viewers, do we have a treat for you? This has never happened in the history of Prodigal Persiflage. Just before we started recording, Eric said to me, I'm ready. I've read up. I'm prepared.
I filled an otherwise empty vessel, Andrew.
Well, we'll
see.
We'll be the judge of that.
Agreed.
So listen, special episode this week.
Agreed.
We only have one topic, but I think it's a big one, and we wanted to get the time to delve into it. Dear viewer, if you're here for Watchers, you've come on the wrong week. You've come on the wrong week, I'm afraid.
Sorry.
And we'll tell you why. Because this is what we need to talk about.
Oh, dear. Do we have to look at it again? Can we just start the video now?
Now, listen, Eric, I think there's a lot to say. So we're gonna lean on our old talking hands format, the good, the bad, and the ugly bottom line to try and put some structure around this.
Yeah.
So I don't think this needs introducing, does it? Ferrari launched their first EV this week. They got Johnny Ive's design consulting firm to do the design work. And it's been met with, I would say, universal disgust.
By the way, that's putting it mildly, Andrew. Disgust is putting it mildly. The stuff that I've seen online, woo!
Yeah, well, so the reaction online has been terrible, but the stock value's fallen by, last time I checked, 9%. So the markets aren't super keen on it either.
Yeah.
But look, let's get into it. So let's start with the good, shall we?
Yep. By the way, that's not the Wi-Fi stuttering. It's me.
Come on, let's start with the good.
Okay.
Do you want to? I can go first because I got good.
Listen, go first, buddy.
Well, look, the first good is we're all talking about it, and honestly, in this day and age, anyone who can come out with a new product, a new design that gets people talking, I salute them. They've pushed the envelope. They've tried things that haven't been done before. So for that alone, I think we have to say, well done.
Okay.
Now, of course, novelty in itself, it does not a great product make. But I think that's I genuinely salute them. It's harder and harder to innovate, and they have done that. Okay, so that's the first good that I have. And the second one is about the interior. I think that the interior is a success. No, I need to be careful. I was about to say it is a success. I don't think that's entirely true, but I think there's a lot to like about the interior, and I'll try and explain that a little bit. I think there are two aspects to it. The first is simple enough. There were some lovely traditional Ferrari touches in there. The steering wheel in particular stands out as great. The seats look very Ferrari. Those are all lovely. Okay, I mean, look at those seats. But more importantly, more innovation really is what they've done in terms of the user interface. So, as you know, I'm a big proponent of EVs, and I don't mind a big touchscreen. I think as long as the software is well resolved, it's fine. I live with one every day. I'm perfectly happy. But
Andrew, sorry, just for the viewers, which car do you live with?
Polestar 4.
Right on. That's going to come up again, by the way. I'm going to mention Polestar.
Oh, we're going to go back to Polestar.
We have to.
But so I don't have as much of a problem with touchscreens as many petrol heads, car fans. There's not a car review video on the internet that doesn't start with complaining about the touch controls and you have to go through menus to change something. Yeah, guess what? All of that is fixable with good software design. Anyway, that aside, I think what Johnny Ive and his team have done here is truly original thinking when it comes to mixing the best of digital and analog and tactility. All of the fantastic switches in this device, the way that the physical switches then create an interaction with the digital environment, and you get clear and immediate feedback. I think is a tour de force. I really do. I think it's stunning. That little clock in the there that they're focusing on there. I don't know how much you've looked into this, but that adapts. That can turn into a stopwatch. It's all digital except for the needle, which is a physical element that still moves. So they've really, I think, done an amazing job of mixing analog, digital, physical, virtual, and put it all together in a way that really does make sense. I think that is, and I salute them, because the industry as a whole has been struggling with this problem for over a decade. First, they all went to screens, everyone revolted, then they went back to buttons, but they made the buttons haptics, and like no one seems to have figured it out. And I think this is a genuinely new approach, which I suspect we're going to see a lot of people copy in some shape or form. I'll pause there. What have you got on the good?
Okay, look, on the good, a couple of things. I don't, rather than describe it as novelty, Andrew, this is a revolution from within Ferrari. You know, they've brought outsiders, untested, very well known to the consumer public, and have said to them, go to work, and they've let them do it.
Yeah.
And like you're pointing out, there are a number of liberating comments that we can make about that. Who else, especially a brand as valued as Ferrari, would allow folk to do this? So they get my applause for it, even if the stock price tanked.
Oh, he's showing us the front. Oh.
Sorry. This is good. But Andrew, this is going to go on and on and on. I mean, I'm listening to you as you describe the good, and I'm having to look at this thing in the meantime.
Don't worry, we're going to get to the bad in a moment.
Right, because it's easy. Okay, so look, the revolution from within Ferrari, taking some of the best consumer electronics designers in the business. I mean, these boys are really something else. Mark Newson is extraordinary. What Johnny Ives managed to achieve at Apple, again, legendary. There's a flip side to that. So, but I'll stop there for my point one on the good part.
I've got another good bit for you. What? You see the yellow Ferrari logo in the center console there? You know what that is? Do you know what that is? That is the key. Now, so what happens is you get into the car, you place the key in that little enclosure. It's magnetic. It clicks right into place. And then you press it. And when you do, they've got super cool e-ink technology in the key that makes the yellow from the Ferrari logo drain out of the key and reappear in the little gear knob to the right of it. There's this, so they've orchestrated this wonderful theater of starting the machine. You know, and then those lights come on, and then the dashboard lights. There's a whole routine, and little touches like that spark genuine joy, and we need more of that.
Okay. But setting aside the fact that
look at that.
Wow, Andrew, I'm tingling all over. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Bear with me. So what this?
No. I want to go back because this surely is going to turn you on. Do you know what this is?
It's a module I can thump my passenger with.
Yeah, that's on the ceiling. Okay, on the ceiling. What do you call it on a car? On the roof. It's on the.
Yeah, it's a roof console. Yeah.
Okay, and on there, inspired by fighter jets, is the launch control. So that is a handle that you pull down on to enable launch control mode.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And of course it lights up and come on, that's amazing.
Yeah. You notice my enthusiasm. So what else do I have to say that's good about it? I think that Ferrari are having to fall in line with very strict legislation. They've got to get X amount of EVs in their fleets to comply with overall fleet emissions. Is that a good? No, they were obliged to do it. But this is one way of doing it that so demarcates them from everything else that they're currently on right now. And again, that's a different discussion about what you make of the current design and looks of Ferrari's petrol and hybrid cars. But fair enough, right? Think about that. I think last but not least, Andrew, is they're catering, to a number of clients who more often than not have more than one Ferrari. If I have a Ferrari collection, why wouldn't I want an EV that was from Ferrari? Lotus did the same thing with the Electra, if I'm not mistaken, SUV. Everybody said, look, I want a lightweight Lotus for the fun, and then I need something for the family.
Well, you see, I disagree with you on that. I don't think they're targeting existing Ferrari users. I think what they're trying to do is get the next generation interested. People who wouldn't necessarily look at a Ferrari because they're more eco-conscious. They prefer EVs, whatever it may be.
I am biting my tongue, but I'm going to wait till we get to the bad to answer that, because my God, do I have a response?
Look, she's going to put. See, watch. Look at that.
Yeah. Awesome. I can grab a screen and I can swivel it. Excellent.
Show me another car where you can do that. It makes perfect sense. What it says is, this is a driver's car. The instruments in front of you are what matters. The screen is infotainment, and if you want to turn it and push it towards your passenger, do so, because you don't need it to drive the car. Brilliant.
Yeah, Andrew. And last but not least, I mentioned it briefly when I talked about the courage from within the brand to hand all this over. But I would reiterate again that Newson and Ives are really some of the greatest designers, and Newson in particular for me. Okay, I admired products of his going back many, many years, and whatever he lends his hand to is always creative and fresh and new. All of this fits in well with the idea that you're switching to an EV. I'm going to stop there, Andrew, because that's literally all I can muster, and I'm scraping the bottom.
That's the only good stuff you've got, huh?
Yep.
I have one more good that came out of this. Looks better in red. The good is, I discovered this YouTube channel, Cleo Abram.
Yeah?
She's phenomenal. I mean, quite apart from being absolutely beautiful, she is a phenomenal journalist. And her channel is an absolute delight. It's all about technology, discovery, science, and all done in a really enthusiastic, positive way. So if you haven't checked it out, you should. The entire channel is just, and it's really high production values, really clever. She's smart, very likable. It's absolutely great.
Yeah, hold on a second. What the hell does that make us?
Well, go and watch her channel this week, and you decide for yourself whether you think she's producing higher quality than we are. I know what I think. Anyway,
it's not difficult.
It was a delight to discover her and her channel. And this particular video that she did is also worth watching. There were some wonderful moments in here.
Okay, come on. Let's get to the good stuff.
No. I want to flag these. So there's one moment towards the beginning where she talks about how this is a complete departure for Ferrari, very unusual, deliberately controversial, and they hired in external design help, which you raise as a good. But I've got to say, I think it's an odd decision to have to do that. And then she turns to them both and goes, "Why?" And neither, you can see it. They're both, the sheer horror hits them. Neither of them have got a fucking clue what the answer to that question is.
Unreal.
There's another moment. It's a split-second moment later in the video. I forget his name, but the other guy being interviewed, he's the head of Ferrari design. He turns to Johnny Ive and says, "Of course, this is the first car project that you have worked on, isn't it?" And you could just see Johnny Ive going, "What do I do?" Because he spent years working on the Apple car project.
This is going to come back as the Titan project, right? Which they sank
right.
10 billion into.
That's right. So this is not the first car project that Johnny Ive has worked on. Far from it. Yeah. And I think a lot of what you see in the design of this car is very telling. In many ways, this is not so much a Ferrari as it is our glimpse at what might have been the Apple car. Yeah.
I 100%, Andrew. And I mean, there've been a number of folk who commented on that as well. So yeah, I mean, positive for them to have transferred that over. When are we getting to the bad?
Let's go to the bad.
Fucking yes. All right. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, it sounds like you're chomping at the bit.
Okay. Why? For whom? What is it? I'm going to start with Enzo Ferrari's immortal words, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember them exactly. But he said, when you buy a Ferrari, you're paying for the engine. The car you get thrown in for free because the engine needs something to be a part of. Okay? There's no engine in the Luce. And by the way, you and I have not actually pronounced the word. It's the Ferrari Luce, right? Which means light.
Yeah, ironically stands for light. The car is quite the opposite of that.
Yeah, I would say the car is the Ferrari Tenebra, right? Which is the darkness. This is something that absolutely stinks of so many people having what they think is a good idea at the same time and throwing it in all together. And I'll break that out for you. One is the work that was done on the iCar. You rightfully point out, as have others, by the way, there's an awful lot of that piped into this thing. I mean, an awful lot, in which case they're smart because they got paid twice for the work, right? So good on them. Second observation is it's so far and away from desirability. There is no element of the desirable, short of some of the fun little functions that you've pointed out, a grab handle, e-ink, which Sony were making watches out of 20 years ago. This kind of stuff, it's like, look over here. It's a 5-seater. It can do 0 to 200 in 6.7 seconds, which, by the way, is astonishing, Andrew. That's just incredible acceleration. It's got 1,000 horsepower. Here's another big bad. It's $500,000. £500,000 or euros, whatever the hell it may be.
Yeah.
$500,000 for a car that would work, I think, reasonably well at the perhaps 70, 80 mark. You could get a lot more interest in it. You'd have to do something about the wheels, the overall design.
70, 80? Yes, but that's not a Ferrari. Why would they sell something?
But Andrew, you've just emphasized another point I wanted to make for the bad. This isn't a Ferrari. Stop jerking us off. There are two approaches on this. One is the more conspiratorial approach, which suggests Ferrari are deliberately making an EV that nobody would buy so that they can then claim, hey, look, we tried, guys. It doesn't work. We're going to have to stick with petrol/hybrid. And I mean this a bit towards regulators and policymakers, the same way other big auto brands have descended on Brussels and said, we can't import. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
And other automotive manufacturers have descended on Brussels and said, we can't meet the EV only, no new petrol/hybrid introductions after 2035.
But Ferrari is so low volume, they're exempt from all that anyway. They're not bothered by that.
No. They are, and they're not exempt. Andrew, the other thing is this. Ferrari have the largest gross margins of any automotive manufacturer anywhere. They could have built and designed anything they want. How much of an effort would it have been to make something that was, let me think, as desirable as a Polestar, as handsome and as grand as a Lucid Air, yeah? And I'm not even getting into a Porsche Taycan, which is a sculpture for the road. Pure automotive sculpture is that Porsche. And it's been doing that, I don't know what, for 5-10 years now. Instead, we get this. So your objection is the styling. You just don't like the styling.
Because that's all I've heard you say, really.
It's not just the styling. It's also what it offers as an EV, whether it's range, whether it's interior capacity. I don't see it outwitting or outperforming any of the competition.
Ah, yes. Okay. So I agree with you on that. And that is a real problem, because when I was watching the introduction videos, I was waiting for them to, they amped it up so much about how disruptive and innovative it was. I was waiting for them to show or announce the truly disruptive, innovative feature. Exactly as you said, have we fixed the range problem? Have we got super fast charging?
Radio silence.
No, none of that. And as I was watching it, I was thinking, it's a nice car and it has some lovely touches, but I don't see how it's quantifiably better than my Polestar 4, which is also ludicrously fast, seats 5 in absolute comfort, has all of the creature comforts you can imagine, all of the gadgets, and I think it's a different style. And yes, it's all touchscreen, but has an incredibly minimalist, lovely Swedish interior.
Yeah. But Andrew, it's true to its origins, at least its original origins in Sweden. It's harmonious. It's coherent. It's got clear brand DNA. I don't see a single effing thing from Ferrari on this, in this, around this, for it. Nothing. Absolutely zero. You
Look,
could put any badge on that hood and claim it.
I just praised the interior under the good, and I do stand by that. But the bad aspect of the interior for me is exactly what you've just said. It feels like a bit of a hot potch of just different good ideas, but when you look at it as a whole, it certainly doesn't match the exterior. The interior is quite retro. It has that lovely sort of retro tactile feel.
Yeah.
Lots of people have said it. It's quite Apple-esque. But that doesn't match the exterior to me at all. And even within the interior, there are elements that, this sort of retro stuff is cool, but then how does that match? Well, even the seats, as an example, which look, very modern and up to date. It doesn't feel coherent as a design.
Right.
God,
and
listen to me criticizing Johnny Ive, the greatest designer of our generation. Anyway.
But Andrew, the key word, I think, for you and Ferrari is we could be open-minded about anything. It isn't that Ferrari's building an EV. It's that it lacks any coherence with...
I think, No, I think they had to build an EV. I mean, I don't understand, me on this. I don't understand anyone who wants a petrol car. I think the future is EV. But anyway, but can I say my bit on my strong bit about the bad, which of course is the fucking exterior. The styling is atrocious. There's no excuse for this. And I've heard people say, it looks like a Honda. No, even Honda wouldn't put that out.
Never.
It's so bland. It has no personality at all. And you trotted out that well-worn Enzo Ferrari quote. And I've got to say, I've seen that used in this debate. I think it's misused, because I think really what Enzo was saying was, I sell you passion, I sell you excitement. That's what he meant when he said the engine. The fact that the engine is now a motor and it's electric, I think is fine. I have no problem with that, because let's take, as a given that sorry, I got distracted by getting the video back on track. Let's take it as a given that the handling is superb and delivers all of the Ferrari excitement. What it's desperately missing is the other element of that excitement that Ferrari has always delivered, which is dramatic Ferrari styling. You want a car that looks like it's speeding when it's sitting outside your house.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
And even ugly isn't necessarily a problem. I'd suggest that if you go back into Ferrari's back catalogue, there are plenty of cars that you'd look at and go, that's not a huge success. That's kind of ugly, but always dramatic, always different.
Yeah, and Andrew, so I'm with you. The use of drama, I think, has been too thickly layered on the current lineup from Ferrari. I'm not talking about Luce. I'm talking now about everything is done for impact. Now, impact is getting smacked around the head or kneed in the balls or kicked in the ass. What you don't need is that happening to your eyeballs each time and every time you go out and you look at a car and go, dear God, could you stop assaulting me? And so when you mention drama, there's a fine line between positive drama and drama for the sake of it. And in this day and age of, I think, a serious lack of design when it comes to EVs, you're totally on it when you say they missed a trick. How much would it have cost them to get Pininfarina to come in and do something absolutely mind-bogglingly beautiful?
Exactly.
And we would have understood everything else. We would have swallowed this hook, line, and sinker and said, look at it. And by the way, just because we're talking about the design, the coherence, those alloys on the Luce are so diabolically bad. I don't even know what to say.
The what?
The alloys, the wheels.
Oh, right. Yeah. Those are awful. And this is the other thing. When I first saw them, I thought, okay, they're definitely leaning into wind tunnel efficiency, getting this thing to have great range. It doesn't have great range. It's not, as EVs go, it's not particularly impressive, other than the acceleration. But you can get crazy acceleration in most EVs as well.
Yeah, this is, and again, Andrew, can we come back to something else? It's not unimportant, because whilst you and I and all of our viewers will never even consider one, let alone buy one, this is £500,000, Andrew. For £500,000, I could build an extraordinary car collection, including gorgeous EVs like a Taycan and still have an analog petrol engine Ferrari to look at and drop dead every time I see it.
Yeah, look, of course the price is outrageous, but don't forget this comes from a brand that sells hypercars for millions, not hundreds of thousands. So I'm not sure the price is really the issue. I don't think the price is going to put. Oh God, that rear. God.
No,
it looks like a small car swallowed a big car. No, a big car swallowed a small car.
Yeah, well, it's like, it's like a platypus, a throwaway design from, I don't know. I mean, look, we can do this for hours and hours, but look, we've been recording now for, 25 minutes. I can't look at it anymore. I literally.
Okay, I've got something to make you feel better. Just look at that instead.
Way!
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that a great looking EV?
Look at this.
That's my car.
No, but that's how but Andrew.
That's how you design an EV.
For God's sake, it can be done, and it can be done with seriousness. It can be done with celebration. It can be done with strong DNA. It can pull all the best of what you are and where you come from and what you stand for. And what I see here with Ferrari is they have simply said, go to work, come back. We'll show the interior to everybody first so that we don't get smacked around before we show them the exterior. What? This is a mess.
This thing does 0 to 60 only 1 second slower than the Ferrari, I'd like to add.
And Andrew, also the 0 to 60 stuff is just horseshit.
It is horseshit. It is horseshit because on more than one occasion, I can tell you, I've used that 0 to 60 full acceleration. I've made myself feel quite ill and promised myself not to do it again. It's yeah, and the 0 to 60 stuff is now, when you and I were growing up and the Golf GTI broke the 10-second mark, that was exciting. Huge. But now it's too much.
And also, Andrew, it's a shrug of the shoulders, and so what? Yeah. So what?
And look, if you're not into Swedish design, arguably the Germans have something great to sell you.
Andrew, look at this. From £88,000, you could buy 5 of these.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we talking about here? And I don't like the spec on the one that you're showing here, and I don't care for the Sport Turismo or Cross Turismo, but the Sports Saloon on standard wheels in a discrete color is automotive rolling sculpture.
Couldn't agree more.
Period.
And if for whatever reason you're not into Porsche, don't worry. It has a sister car, which is equally stunning.
A bit more.
It is perfectly possible to design. Yeah. And by the way, this is also interesting. The two cars we just looked at, the Porsche and now the e-tron, share the same platform.
Agreed.
So you can create something that looks like it comes from that brand. You can be constricted by a platform, but still create something that looks and feels like it comes from that brand. They're both beautiful.
Right. So if anything, the point that I take out from all this bad discussion, Andrew, is something we brought up in the introduction as well, which is it looks like it came from brand A, B, C.
That's right.
I don't see, and I'm not going to applaud the fact that just because Ferrari didn't give us more of the same dreck that they're currently producing in their current interiors. I don't like the interiors of their hybrids and petrol cars either. But just because we don't like those doesn't mean that it isn't legitimate to say, you aren't Ferrari. I don't see anything from you in this. You could be anybody, any Chinese and or Korean brand and or European brand or even North American brand could slap its badge on this and say, hey, guess what? Johnny Ives and Mark Newson collaborated with us. And isn't this wonderful? We'd applaud that more.
And listen, while we're covering exceptional EV design, here's the best, in my view, the best on the market right now. It hasn't actually started delivering yet, but they are taking orders.
The 5?
The 5. I mean, come on.
It is killer.
Come on.
It's killer. Look at that.
This is perfect car design.
Oh, but Andrew, look at our body language. Even if you put aside the fact that you're a Polestar, you and I look at this and we want to look at it more. I couldn't wait for the previous 25 minutes to pass just so I didn't have to see the Luce anymore. Please. All right.
And for the same price of this, the same price as the Ferrari, you can buy, I think, 4 or 5 of these.
We're back.
Similar performance. Okay, we need to wrap this up. I think we both know where this is going, but let's go for the ugly bottom line. Tell me.
The ugly bottom line is if I was to level something going on in the background, I'd suggest this was deliberately designed to fail. Deliberately designed to fail. That's my one.
Theorist.
It's my one outside thought. Failing that, the bottom line is let this be forgotten quickly. Let's just move on, Andrew, to a land of Nordic beauty. Like I said, I keep talking about the Lucid Air, which you didn't show here today, or over to Stuttgart for Porsche and the Taycan. There's too many people who have solved this issue and given us something genuinely desirable. I don't give a shit how they design this car. It don't work.
Yeah. So my ugly bottom line is a bit different. I think all of the backlash is completely unwarranted. I think that, first of all, I don't buy your conspiracy theory at all. I think Ferrari genuinely are trying to push the envelope and do something new and different, and I salute them for that. I think they'll have no trouble at all selling enough of these cars to turn a profit. That said, everything that I've said in the bad stands. I think that it is ultimately a failure from a product perspective, from a design perspective. I want this thing to look and feel like a Ferrari. It may feel like one. I haven't driven one, but it certainly doesn't look like one. So
you never will.
You know, no, that's true.
Neither will I.
So yeah, I'm sure they'll have no trouble selling them. But and this nonsense about it's ruined the brand forever is genuine nonsense. Ferrari will be absolutely fine. They're a powerhouse. This is not going to derail them. But it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a missed opportunity more than anything else, because I'm a big believer in EVs. I wanted them to bring out something genuinely boundary pushing that made people go, wow, and they haven't.
And Andrew, that's what's almost criminal about it, is Ferrari would have been the perfect lead. It could have taken the lead over so many others, and it could have leveraged the best of Ives and Luce and said, yeah, but hold on, guys. We're still about that drama. We're still about getting eyeballs, still about getting, little kids stopping in their tracks and going, Mummy, Daddy, look at the car.
Yeah. Instead, we're going, Mummy, Daddy, make it stop.
Oh, please. It was, Andrew, one parting thought from my side. The very first time I ever saw a Ferrari, my first real memory of Ferrari, I was in a school bus. I must have been maybe 8 or 9 at most. And I looked out of the back of the bus, and there was a red Ferrari, I think probably a 308, maybe a 328. It doesn't matter. The sound of it, the drama, the color, the height. And I'll never forget, the guy pulled up behind us. It was a male driver. And he moved over to the other lane to overtake. I'd never seen a car move like that. Now, of course, that was an 8-year-old going, oh my God, how incredible. Yeah. That was my first experience with Ferrari. I've had a number since then. It's not that I've never been in a Ferrari or been around. But nothing in what I've seen just now will be memorable in any way. And like you said, all I want to do is wipe my eyeballs clean, empty my brain of this garbage, and move the hell on, please.
We need to wrap up, but I've got just one last question before we do, because I've been thinking myself this. Imagine for a second it didn't have a Ferrari logo on it.
Yep.
Imagine for a second it had an Apple logo on it.
For sure.
How does that change your judgment of it?
I'd be less harsh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it, Andrew, but I would be significantly less aggressive.
Yeah. You see, I think stick an Apple logo on the front of that. And obviously it needs to be a quarter of the price.
We agree.
A fifth of the price.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just not. Well, no, it is possible, because there are plenty of Chinese EVs selling for. Yeah, it is possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you might have something interesting. The whole thing just feels like such a wasted opportunity to do something.
And also, Andrew, more importantly, I hope it's not a waste of time of the people who've watched us talk about it. But it is kind of, I feel like, a waste of space. We've taken up a lot of time and eyeballs and energy, and we'll talk about Ferrari having and who cares? And tomorrow we're going to forget about it, and we'll go look at something beautiful, desirable.
Yeah. Well, listen, we wish all of the viewers a fantastic weekend, and let's hope that next week brings us something positive to talk about, because I actually don't like doing these negative videos.
No,
I'd rather celebrate greatness.
I don't either. Happy weekend.
Have a good weekend, folks. All the best.
Next time.
Take care.
Ciao.